the Warriors were one of the serious suitors to possibly acquire Markkanen this summer. It was reported that a couple of players that they did not want to move on from were Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. Ramona, do you think that the Warriors are making the right choices with Steph now entering a season where he's going to turn 37 years old?
I do. I think they need to get him one more piece. They need to get him another scorer, but you cannot mortgage your entire future and depth to go get that player. And that player has to be, and I think Lauri Markkanen is a great player and he would really have helped them. But there are other players out there. The Warriors are still committed to big game hunting. They just have to wait for the right time and the right place. There's a lot of situations in this league, like let's say Minnesota, where you have Karl Towns and Rudy Gobert and all these, Anthony Edwards, whose max extension is going to kick in. Those teams get very expensive. There's going to be players who will have to move because of this new CBA and because of the financial pressures on them. And so I think if you're the Warriors, you keep those young players and you keep all your depth together because there's going to be more opportunities. You cannot just go all in with one player.
This is rookie hazing, right? So I come here on my first show, and I got to talk about this Warriors offseason, or this disaster of an offseason that they've had right now.
Disaster?
Disaster of an offseason. Like, you look at this Warriors dynasty and what they have done in the last few years. They've gotten those big games, big game hunting, and they have reeled in the big fish. And now you have a situation where you whiff on Paul George. You lose Chris Paul, which means you lose Jordan Poole for nothing, right? And then you do not get Lauri Markkanen. Well, you know, theoretically, but you don't get Lauri Markkanen, and now you have a situation where you are trying to piecemeal something around Steph Curry because of the original sin of a few years ago, where you tried to build to the future while building to the present, and it has not worked. The Warriors should get on their knees and thank everybody that Steph Curry had that Game 4 against the Boston Celtics. That is because that has saved these last few years from being a totally different narrative the way we're talking about. This has been a hard offseason. I haven't even mentioned the fact that they lost Klay Thompson, which is something that was unthinkable at the beginning of this offseason.
Listen, dynasties don't last forever. You're talking about the Warriors dynasty. You're talking in past tense. The dynasty is done. It's over. It is not fair to judge this edition of Golden State based on the historic success that they've had in the past. That is in the past. They are a competitive team that got out of a record-setting luxury tax bill. A disaster is being the most expensive team in NBA history and not making the playoffs. That's a disaster. They're going to be competitive. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do want to make a note that David is friends with Stephen Curry.
Well, we just happened. I just happened to root for all NBA players who graduated from Davidson College.
Of course, that's the ones that you went to school with at the same time.
I just feel like there should be a little asterisk there, just so that everybody knows. Okay, so remember, Steph is eligible to sign a one-year, $62.6 million extension this summer with the Warriors. But in the grand scheme of things, David, the Warriors have the added depth, but no star talent. So should Steph, want out of Golden State?
Absolutely not. With all that said, I think that Steph Curry has built his legacy in Oakland. Like, he moved there from Davidson and has lived there his entire adult life. He's built so much off the court there. And part of that legacy of what he's brought there is he is one of the last players who will have his entire career with one franchise, which means a lot right now. He brought championships to there. He is synonymous with that city and with that team. I think a lot of other stars, given what has happened, may kick down that door and say, trade me somewhere else. They don't have to worry about that with Steph Curry.
I mean, look, they started this because he is their Tim Duncan. He is their Kobe Bryant. He is their Dirk Nowitzki. And I think that's his legacy. And he should sign the extension because it's $62.5 million. And if things ever go badly there and he wants out and they want out, it will be an amicable parting. But I don't see that happening, and he deserves every penny and then some because he's the man who built Chase Center.
Yeah, listen, they're going to build a statue of this man outside of the arena.
If they haven't already.
Multiple statues.
Exactly. So there's no reason for him to want out. This is not a situation like Klay Thompson just had where he felt disrespected by the organization and things went sour. And look, again, dynasties don't last forever. The man has 4 championship rings. Those banners will fly forever, but he's going to be on a competitive team into the twilight of his career, which Kobe Bryant was not.
No.
Dirk Nowitzki was not. But to be the man, the face of a franchise forever, there's something.
And they're going to keep swinging. That's all you can ask for when you're at his.
What do you think is the likelihood that he wins another championship in Golden State?
Slim, very slim.
Yeah.
But but
it's not necessary.
A 4-time champion. That's a short list.
That makes sense. All right, we'll leave that conversation there. Still to come.